Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Centric. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are crime dramas. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Poker Face Season 1, Episode 6. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So, obviously, when we got the opening and everything, I kind of tripped out a little bit. I was like, wait, Ellen Birkin, Tim Meadows, Jamil. I was like, wow. I was not expecting the story to play out the way it is. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of my head just because it's there and I just couldn't help but think about it. I was like, I'm going to say something extremely brave and it's going to be a hot take. Jamil is ridiculously beautiful. I know. Oh my God. Like, I'm so brave for putting that opinion out there. But it's like about her in that tennis uniform was like really doing it for me because I think it also showcases her legs. She's very tall and she has very nice long legs, and reinforces my thing of I think I might have a thing for like a good set of legs, and she has a great set of legs, and she's just beautiful and talented all around. I've been a big fan of her since her and The Good Place. But either way, Ellen Birkin, I know obviously the best from like Animal Kingdom. Tim Meadows has been in so much shit, and I'm like, I actually don't know. I'd have to look through his filmography. I'm like, what was the first thing I ever saw him in? He's just one of those actors. I'm like, Tim Meadows, always excited to see you pop up. Anyway, getting all that out of the way, I did not expect this to go the way it is. Like, obviously we have Michael and Kathleen. They're actors. They were part of this like hit TV show, Spooky and the Cop. There's deeper things there that I think is kind of like, there's something fucked up you could draw parallels to. I don't think that's the thing, but it's just kind of like, there's a I'm not going to bring it. I'll go ahead and say it because I think it's funny. I don't think this is meant to be the case, but I think it's funny to think about it. It's probably like Kathleen was the spooky, but it's a fucked up racist thing, but like spook is a slur used for black people. So I mean, obviously it gets used for like spies and stuff like that. It's a term for spies, but it is also a racist connotation for black people too. So I'm like, my brain immediately went there. I didn't even think about that until just now. Once again, the show is not going for that, but it was just like, that's just something that popped in my head, just letting you a little insight into my fucked up head. But either way, so either way, putting all that aside, it's a situation of, you know, he's married this rich woman. She's self-made, and that being his wife, Ava. And Kathleen is trying to draw Michael back to acting because it's like, I need this opportunity. I know we had our bad blood. I've said some terrible things about you, about how you can't read. And now being illiterate is a part of his Wikipedia page now forever, even post everything. And it's like, we've had our beef. We worked together. Like, you know, we did some real acting despite everyone only knowing us for Spooky and the Cop. And that's a larger commentary where it's just kind of like your best work isn't always your most popular work. It's kind of, you know, because I'm sure a lot of actors will probably like, or a lot of people will probably say like some of the actors' most famous work. Sometimes it goes hand in hand. Like some of your best work ends up being in one of your most popular things in your filmography, but that's not always the case, you know. And it's just like, yeah, like this thing wasn't really reviewed well, but it was like, nah, like we were in our acting bag. So it's a deeper thing. Really, like, I want to draw this parallel. This episode feels like so much. It feels like, because how inside baseball it is, it reminds me of like Barry in a lot of ways, because Barry's very like inside not just actors but also just like the Hollywood system in general. So like it feels a little inside baseball into like how insufferable actors can be. I don't have like that negative connotation towards actors that most people do. They're just like, oh, Hollywood's insufferable, all actors are terrible people. Like, I don't have that opinion. Maybe I should have that opinion. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't have like the negative connotation towards but my point is like this kind of reinforces that thing of like, oh, actors are like unbearable type of thing. So either way, she convinces, you know, Kathleen convincing Michael, like, hey, we'll do this one night play. I need it. I know you're feeling the draw back into the spotlight. We could do this. I need the money. He's like, I could get Ava to cut you a check. She's like, fuck that. Fuck you. And walks past Ava and is like, fuck you, bitch. I'm like, what did she do? And now it's like, okay, we find about Michael's heart condition. Because that's my big thing. I'm like, that's the twist with some of these episodes. Some episodes you feel like, okay, I can see who the victim is. In this situation, I'm like, I'd assume it'd be most likely Michael, but I wasn't really sure. I assumed it was going to be Michael. I thought it was going to be like Kathleen killing Michael. Like I said, there's some interesting twists and developments for this, but especially what threw me for a loop was Ava being like, you know what, Michael, you should do that. He's like, work with Kathleen. She's like, I know, but I know you've been feeling the draw and passion of acting. I'm like, why is she trying to convince him? Like, she was staring out like she's like, this is part of some plan. We find out later on what that plan was. She, like, it wasn't like a money grabbing thing or whatever. Like, she wasn't trying to she was being manipulative, but she was like working with Kathleen. She's like, you would snuff out, she was hoping that this bad experience would snuff out that tiny little glimmer in him that still wanted to go back to acting. She wanted to snuff out that flame once and for all, and that's what she was hopeful for. So I was like, okay. It's actually really interesting. This episode's filled with a lot of selfish people trying to get. I mean, Ava doing what she's doing is like the least of the bad things. It's still the thing of, well, you're kind of manipulating your husband. You know this thing's going to be bad, and you know it's not good for him. In fact, you know it's going to like wear him down, but you want it to wear him down, so that's pretty fucked. But like I said, on the list of terrible things some of the people have done in this is at the bottom of the list, you know, compared to other stuff. So. But yeah, we time skip to 3 weeks later. They've been like practicing. Kathleen has been a tyrant on set. She's trying to direct the whole thing. She's telling Phil like, "Yo," and she's calling calling him Bill. It's like, my name's Phil, which is an asshole thing to do. Just keep getting his name wrong. But it's like, oh, this thing I've done it a million times back in 1991. Every night for a year, fell in through the trap door and no issue. But he's like, well, there's new regulations, so we kind of don't do the trap door thing anymore because you know. Insurance issues and stuff like that, but she's like, no, we're going to do it. And Phil's like, well, that was a long time. She's like, go ahead, say that. I want you to say a go ahead and say it. He's like, I will make it as safe as possible. She's treating the other person in the play who is like their daughter. She's like, oh, like, should there be someone from with the club foot community on stage? Which I was like, oh, I get it. I mean, obviously it's like a joke on like, you want someone representing a community there because it seems very insensitive. You want to make sure you're doing it right. I know it's supposed to be like a parody of like, okay, sometimes you go too far with that. So I get that. But yeah, like she's just trying to do. Also, she's got her allergy. She wants something very specific. And then, but Kathleen once again just being a tyrant, just like being a dick to her, to Phil, to Michael, and you're just like, oh boy, this is gonna be a wild experience. And it's just like the back and forth and the venom, and you're just like, how is this going to play out? So the night comes, they're putting on the performance, and they're like pissed at each other. They're running their mouth, talking shit about each other. Then they're setting up ways to kill each other. Michael is setting up the trap door so that she falls and kills herself because he moves the padding and stuff out of the way. He uses like dry ice as the means to like set the trap door on like a delay, so it enough pressure and eventually, you know, caves in and stuff. She's setting up the light to fall on him. I was like, wait, how's this going to play out? I was like, you both are going to try and kill each other. So I was like, is the episode going to be like a double murder and you're going to be fine? Like, it's going to be unraveling all this? I wasn't sure where this was going to go. I was like, not unless the other actress becomes the victim in this. I was like, how is this all going to go? And it's not until Ava rushes to the stage to Michael because it's like, oh, the light falls down. He gets out of the way, but then kind of has like a heart situation. She comes up running to give him his pills. She falls through the trapdoor, hits her head, and like falls and slams and dies. And you're like, Jesus, that's sad. So I was like, where's this going then? I was like, are they going to cover up the fact is like, because I thought the thing was, holy shit, we tried to kill each other. Do we realize that we tried to kill each other? But in the end, like my wife died, but then also like, if my wife dying makes it so like Michael's like, well, it wasn't a process of me trying to kill Kathleen, so I can't say anything. Also, Kathleen don't want to say anything about her. Like, I thought that's where it was going until they're in the dressing rooms, and she's like, oh my God. I was like, wait, are you to it? And they start I'm like, yes. Oh my God, you guys are lovers pretending to hate each other just to sell the story, and now you have all of Ava's money. I was like, that's so fucked. Like I said, twist upon twist. I did not see that coming. That was so good. So we rewind a little bit, find out about Charlie getting this gig. She kind of got fired from a waitress gig because she was like taking some of the food and stuff, and just, you know, Charlie being Charlie. Phil was like, yo, I got an opportunity for you. she's watching essentially a Ben Franklin version of Hamilton, and she's just like, oh god, this is awful. And she's putting in her own headphones, listening to like rainstorms and stuff, because she's like, oh, this is awful. I even love later on, she's like, man, this makes me miss the Benjamin Franklin rap. But yeah, then we just kind of skip that 3 weeks. So it's one of those interesting things. It's kind of like it kind of goes back to like episode 2, where it's like the main people involved she doesn't end up getting close to. Like in that case, like she wasn't close to the victim. I mean, she interacted with her like multiple times, where like if it was like, yo, can you just keep the drinks pouring, because I need to just basically be drunk. And obviously the irony, like her last line she says to Charlie is just like, oh, kill me, and you're like, oh, sad. But yeah, I mean, the real like sucky thing, and it kind of goes, like I said, back to the whole episode 2 of it all, where Phil gets blamed for everything. They're thinking like he got super drunk on the job and he like screwed things up, and he's beating himself up because he's like, yo, like when the curtains go up, everything that happens, like that's on me. I'm part of making sure everything's right. I thought I did everything right. I thought I had everything set up, but I guess I didn't, and this is on me. And just like the Marge situation, episode 2, Charlie's like, nah, man, like there's got to be more to this. So it's interesting too, because we found out like Charlie got chastised by. I love finding out, like, I didn't realize it was ice. Like when at one point when she's on her during her practice performance, and like she makes that guy freeze who's putting down the chairs. I thought he was still moving, and that's what pissed her off. She's like, God damn it. It was actually, because I didn't hear the ice. It was Charlie in the background dumping the ice, because she had her headphones in, so she wasn't listening. And they were trying to warn her, but she, it's like, I get it. You want to tune everything out. Like, I get it. I do the same thing. I sometimes just want to tune out the world and just stay in my own little bubble that I'm just like, I put my headphones in and blast music. I get it. But it was also like the worst time, because she comes back into the kitchen, everyone's staring at her. She's almost like, what's going on? Kathleen comes in, rips out her headphones and tosses them. And it's like, oh, like an actor, we go out there, we pour our souls out there. There's nothing but truth, which is ironic to talk about truth in front of a human lie detector. And for her, it's just like, everything you kind of said was bullshit. So you want to fire me? Okay. But she's like, no. I want you out here. I want you around. It's like, because of you, I can use that as fuel. It's just like, oh, an actor using everything to fuel their performance type of thing. So that's what ended up happening. But, now Kathleen, when it's all said and done, they killed Ava, they've got the money. Kathleen's like, well, we're trending now, so we could use this opportunity. And it's like, she's Icarus, flying too close to the sun. You murdered someone, you got away with it, you should be happy. And even Michael's like, no, we don't have to do this. But she's like, no, come on, this will be an opportunity for us. Like, we'll even do it for Ava. And it's like, oh, that makes it, even more disgusting that you're going to use her death, not only as motivation, but also it's like, you have more eyes on you. This is the most eyes we've had on us forever, because once again, everyone just knows us as Spooky and the cop. Because even the cop that came to the performance, he's like, oh yeah, I became a law enforcement officer because of you guys. And Michael's like, yeah, I honestly hear that a lot. And so with that all said and done, it's like he's reluctant to do it, but she convinces him like, no, we need to do it. We should do this. And so because they stuck around, it gave Charlie the opportunity to figure things out, because she's like, no, this doesn't make any sense. The other twist I wasn't expecting, because at first when it happens, the other actress, she's like, yeah, you guys, you murdered Ava. And they're like, I was like, wait, she's the one that figures it out? I'm like, are they about to murder her because she figured it out? That's why which they ultimately tried, well, Kathleen tries to. But I was like, whoa, where's this going to go? And then she's blackmailing him. I was like, oh, so you suck too. I was like, wow, all three of you suck. Once again, on the list of things, her sucking for like blackmailing him, it's still pretty bad, because someone was murdered, but you're like, yo, I'm gonna get mine in the end. So yes, it still puts you below Michael and Kathleen, because them murdering her is much worse. But you're still on the sucky list for being perfectly fine with that, and just in fact benefiting it for blackmailing them. So another twist I wasn't expecting. But then Kathleen's like, well, we gotta deal with her. Like, Michael's like, well, we'll just like pay her off. That's all we can do. But Kathleen's like, well, there's another way to deal with this. And that's like murdering her, because she has a peanut allergy and looks towards like the dog treats or whatever that are peanuts. So, And then you have Charlie going full detective mode, trying to figure everything out. She sees that Phil did his checklist for that night. It's like, no, someone obviously sabotaged it after the fact. So it's like, oh my God, the real target was Kathleen. She brings this up to Kathleen, but Kathleen's just making excuses. And I was like, she doesn't say anything that makes Charlie like immediately question her, because she's just like, what's up with actors? You guys are so weird. And so Charlie is so busy trying to save Kathleen, because it almost reminds me of episode 4, where it's just like she's so sure that Home Dude did it, and not realizing that Ruby was a part of it, that the entire band was a part of like murdering Gavin, right? So it's almost that same energy where she's like, you gotta like not be here, like this person is terrible. And then like going through the footage, she's like, oh wait, there was, what's this mist coming up? It's like, oh, dry ice. And she goes over to pick up the dry ice, burns her hand. She gets behind the scenes of the play, and she's trying to talk to Kathleen like, yo, you need to get off the stage. Like, they tried to kill you, yada, yada, yada. She's not listening. Then Michael comes over with a cigarette, and she's like, oh, thanks, and notices his hand. Oh my God, it's Michael. The fridge secret situation where like Kathleen opens the fridge, and behind the fridge, she's talking to her like, yo, Michael tried to kill you. What are you doing? Like, you need to stop this. And then ultimately, like she references like, why would he do that? Like, he would have killed himself too because of the lights. And she's like, lights? Goes up there, finds out about, she sees the fluff from Kathleen's slippers, and she's like, oh my God, they were in this together, especially when they look up to each other, because like she's like, I love you. And in that moment, Charlie's staring from above, being like, that's the truth. And she's like, holy shit. So who does she go to? She goes to the actress. She's like, yo, I think they were in this together. And it's like, they couldn't have, there's no way they could have done. And she's like, why are you lying? Wait, are you in love with him too? Are you in a throuple? Has that term existed before? Like, how old is that term? I should look into that. Like, throuple. Funny enough, God, I don't want to put anyone's business. I will go into specifics. Legitimately, the first time I'd ever heard the term throuple was Taika Waititi. Like, when people were like, oh, like they were saying like during Love and Thunder, he was in a throuple situation, because I don't want to put his significant relationships on blast. I don't know how much of that's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but that's the first time I'd ever heard the term throuple. So it was about like the whole Love and Thunder set type of thing. Anyway, tangents and all that aside. So now Charlie pieces it together like, holy shit. Because the way I love it is that the actress had figured it out, because the dialogue they use, and this is where the episode title comes into play, is Exit Stage Death. It was an episode of Spooky and the Cop. And she's like, you guys are so terrible, you didn't even bother changing some of the dialogue. It's exactly the same. And so Charlie found that piece of the script, especially in the actress's pocket, because she had wrote on the back of it like, yo, this is how much money I won, or it was in someone's possession, because I think she had written it down, and she found that, and then found the rest of the note, because she saw Kathleen hide something the moment she came in the room to talk to her initially, being like, yo, I thought you were the target. And now she's just like, wow, I'm surrounded by sucky people. So how's this all going to play out? How's this all going to go? So then Charlie finds out about their attempt to murder the actress. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna get on stage, slap the Chex Mix out of her hand. It's like, oh, I'm the ghost of Pensacola. Your mother tried to hurt you. It's nuts. Yada yada yada. Gets off stage, and now like the actress is being like, well, you owe me double now, and I want it now. And so it's like, once again, she is not in the right in this situation, but still, now it's like, okay, so how is this all gonna play out? And then they go backstage, they're talking, they think their microphones are turned off, which they are, but then Charlie had hit a mic in there, so not only cop heard it, but other people heard it too, their confession. But it's like, well, what do we do now? And she's like, we use it. And they go out there and they put on a performance. I'm like, I love that people are waiting. The cop, like, you even see one of the cops like show up and kind of wipe a tear from his eye, but everyone's captivated, because it's that once again, it's like that Barry situation of like, oh, you get this powerful performance where you bring, like, once again, you find this thing and you use it. I mean, and once again, there obviously this episode is playing it up, and like I said, it's hyperbolized in Barry, but also like people do use like real life stuff. There's a recent situation in Conversations about a TV show where someone had to like was going through some really a terrible situation in their life, and that coincided with them performing something. Like I'll go ahead and dance. I'm gonna go and if you watch The Last of Us, this most recent season, there's a very sad behind the scenes story about an actress performance and what she was able to use for that, and kind of came through the performance, which is just like hearing that backstory of like, oh, that's so horrendous that's happening to you, like at the same time this opportunity. She even says like the show was very accommodating for her, but she was able to kind of, and so that's why I was like, it is something that is real. Obviously it's hyperbolized even more so, but it's supposed to be like, yo, like there was some truth in that performance because they did use it, and they both like all of them kind of like nailed it. And even Charlie was kind of weeping, like weepy eyed, and you're like, so how's this going to play out? And then like the trapdoor thing happens. At first I was like, oh, is she going to like let herself die or something? Because we don't know if that ever got rectified, like whether the mats were there. We don't really know, because like after that the episode ends, so you're like, oh, you don't see them get arrested or anything. I was like, it's a weird episode through and through of like how it was structured and done, and for that to be the note it goes off. But considering the context of everything, it feels befitting for that to be the end, just in the confines of both the play, their performances of like this is them at their best, putting it all out there, using what they're using, and just when they're about to get arrested, and just the accolades of, oh my God, we did this terrible thing, but oh my God, we definitely put on a hell of a performance. So it's just, there's layers to that it just makes this episode so interesting and weird. Even though I've made parallels to Barry, it's not Barry levels of weird, because if you've seen the show Barry, you know where some of the elements of that show go, and that show goes off the fucking walls and rails in some aspects, especially in the fourth season. They really go balls to the wall, especially some of the season 3 stuff too. But either way, but like I said, there's elements to this and kind of feels very Barry-esque. That's why I keep like making that parallel. But either way, just side note, if you've never seen Barry, it's a great show. You should watch. Obviously, it's done, so But either way, I'm excited to see where the next episode takes us with all of this. What the next set of scenarios are going to be. We'll ultimately have to wait to see. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.